There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SyFy channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean Fangirl S, and today we'll be discussing episode 2 of season 4 of Killjoys. Woo!
Yeah. Kind of checked in on where Dutch was after last season's finale, and this episode we get to check in on the rest of Team Awesome Force in episode 2 entitled Johnny Dangerously.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, ah! Yeah, I'm excited and like weirded out all at once, but we are at least getting a whole lot of information, filling in all the blanks.
Right. So, of course, we start off by seeing Zeph crawling through air vents on the ship while Pip waits in the lab. And she pops out of one of the air vents and he almost shoots her. But she's been getting all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I completely forgot they were together on the ship.
Right. Well, the last thing we saw them was about to have adult time there.
Yeah, I just had forgotten they were together on the ship.
Right.
Because it feels like it had been so long and we were so focused on the elevator.
Right.
So, yeah. But apparently, Zeph is really good at sneaking around and figuring out where she is via air duct.
Amazing talent.
Right, yeah.
But she's gathered enough information and duped the master code, so if they can get to the flight decks, maybe they can get out of there.
Let's hope.
But they still have to check and see if there's any changes in their landlords.
I love how they check, too.
Yeah. So they open the door and she starts throwing little, I don't even know what they were. They weren't pebbles, but...
I thought it was food, and I'm like, oh, that's probably not the best thing.
And, one at a time, no reaction. So she throws a whole handful, and the guy finally reacts and shoots his gun, but not at anybody.
Right. Yeah, and she thinks that it's just like residual motor function, basically.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, this is good, right? They're frozen, but why are they frozen? And they're creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. But they do make it out and onto a ship, and they head to Anila's ship where they end up finding Turin and Fancy.
Yay! Let's start getting our people together.
That's right. Of course, it's real funny that Zeph and Turin kind of have this back and forth about something strange happened, and sure enough, the same thing happened on Anila's ship as they go into a room with all these Hulan just standing there still as hell.
Oh, I love it. And she's like, this is all creepy. Maybe we should space them. And I loved it because... Oh my god, okay. Because Turin's like, no, we're not spacing them. And Zeph was all like, why? He goes, how did he say it exactly? No, I'm on a moral redemption arc.
Yeah.
Because first he looks at Fancy. Can we space them? No, we're not spacing them. Okay. But just the fact that he says, I'm on a moral redemption arc, it's like,
right.
Really? Oh my god. Just like throw it right out there so nobody has to say, what is he trying to be, like, redeem himself? He already said it, so we all know.
Yep. We're going to attempt to see a more gentler Turin this season.
Hey, maybe...
I'm not sure I like that.
Maybe being on 12 Monkeys made him a little more chill. Who knows?
Yeah, there you
go. All that country music.
Yeah. So, of course, Zeph wants to know what happened to Johnny, and they inform her that, yeah, Davin and Johnny were heading to try to save Dutch. And, well, the elevator is long gone.
She was pissed.
Yeah, she was really upset. And, of course, Pip, after almost getting his butt whooped for complaining about plums on the rack ship,
right?
he tells everybody, I think we need to give her a little space.
Yeah, she's been cooped up with me for a little too long. Maybe that's really what it was.
Yeah. But before they leave, she goes, I can get him in.
Right, because, there's no way on the necropolis? Oh, Zeph has a way, if Klein's jump ship is still there.
Right.
Pree's like, yeah, it is. And I love it, because she's all, like, super, like, I'm going to science this thing. And Pree's like, all right, girl, you got this. I just loved how it went, because Pree was the only one that didn't look at her twice and think, no.
Right, because Turin actually questions her ability, and she flat out sets his butt straight.
Right. I loved it. Pree's just like, all right. Because I think Pree has so often been underestimated that he's like, I'm not going to underestimate anyone.
Right.
Because
and
we underestimated Pree too last season. So.
Yes, we did. And then we get this awesome scene because Zeph tells him she needs a scar back.
Oh, yes.
And of course, Pree says none of them would agree as it's now a tomb. And then Garrett speaks up and says, well, what about an X-scar back?
I love that look Pree gave
yes.
him like, what are you talking about? And
I know people.
Right, I loved that. Loved it. And Zeph's just like, all right, whatever works.
Yep. Get him to me.
Yeah.
And we see Zeph is not having much luck getting into the jump ship.
Well, I think at that point she was so frustrated because she's like, nobody had an idea. This was her idea, and it is completely feasible. But, crap, I don't know if I can make this work.
Right.
Maybe I really did bite off more than I can chew.
And Pip comes in and basically gives her a pep talk.
I really liked that little talk with them.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
absolutely.
Oh, that's kind of cute. It really was, because I wasn't expecting that out of Pip.
No.
Basically, he was really selfish before.
Right.
And so the fact that he's like, I would have died if it wasn't for you, and maybe you shouldn't worry about all the ifs.
Yeah. Just open the door.
Yeah. And he tells her how brave she is and how smart, and it's like, wow, you go Pip.
Yeah. So we cut to Pree and Garrett paying a visit to this ex-Scarback at the Westerly White Sands.
Boy, she looks awful familiar.
Yeah. But it was great because she's apparently busy at the moment, and so they're just kind of standing there waiting around, and you hear all this noise coming from another room.
Oh my goodness.
He definitely wants to know how he knows Perusa.
Oh, I love that. When he's like, excuse me, you got some explaining to do.
Oh, it's a friend of a friend.
I don't know anything.
So we see a guy come out of the room and leave immediately. And a woman dressed in S&M costume comes out, and oh my God, it's Anna Hopkins.
She's just popping up everywhere, isn't she?
Everywhere.
I'm not mad about it, because it's so funny, because the characters that she's played so far have been so different, yet slightly the same, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, it's the attitude, I think, with all of them. That's what's the same. But, I mean, we've got this dominatrix, ex-priestess. She was a journalist. She was, like, military. It's just so funny.
Yes.
Because that is a really weird road, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, to have traveled to get to this point.
Yes, I want to ask her, okay, so which of the costumes you like the most? Actually, I really dig the one that she's in, not here necessarily, because I would just
Right.
look like sausage. But in the next one that we see her in, I'm like, oh, it's like, I feel like we're going to see a lot of people dressed like that at con.
Right.
We'll see. But anyway, I love it when they go talk to her, and Pre's like, well, yeah, this makes sense. You know, they are kind of sadists. And suddenly, like, he's trying to find a really polite way to tell her what's going on.
Right.
And Garrett, being Garrett, just blurts out, we need to get to the necropolis. And she's like, get out.
Yeah. Now.
You know that he looked at him like, I'm going to beat you. This was the look I gave Jason when he kept screwing up when we were trying to get early reservations for San Diego Comic-Con at the hotel.
Right.
When he kept saying, yeah, it's for Comic-Con, I'm like, I am going to kill you. That was the look Pre gave him. And it's like, oh my God, are you serious right now? And
so Pre saves it by telling her that he knew Alvis and wants to get the bitch that killed him, but he needs in the tomb.
And she kind of stopped there, but then, of course, it's too late. Nobody can get in. He's like, I got away. We just need a guide.
Right.
She mulls it over, and this was kind of what worried me when she's like, fine, but I get to keep any artifacts I find.
Right.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, I feel,
really trust her.
yeah, just the way she said it and the fact that she kind of quickly changed her mind, that kind of worries me. Like, where are we going to go with this?
Yes.
And I just want to make sure that we all know I do like her. I'm just worried about what that particular sentence means because I trust nothing.
Right. So, of course, Garrett thinks it would be rude to leave without worship.
Oh my God.
And Bree says, well, I haven't been that good, but just not the face.
Oh God. I have a feeling that whatever's happening, it's not quite to the extent of a scarback anyway, so.
Yeah, no.
Oh my goodness.
So we cut to the cube where Perusa wants to know what the heck that is.
Oh yes.
And Zeph says, well, she took the tech from the jump ship and combined it with his cube. And it's just big enough for 2 or 3. So Pip tells Zeph he's going as well because he can hack the tech.
I love it. And he has what is essentially like a bike helmet.
Yeah.
Here, I found this. This will help us, right? And she's like, well, if I screw up, this is going to happen. It's basically going to be crushed like 1,000 pounds on top of you, whatever. And he's like, so bigger helmet.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what you need. I just thought it was funny because he's like, he kind of looked like, I need to be hopeful. And then it's like, helmet? It's like, he might as well just be like saying chocolate bar?
Right.
Whatever makes you happy at this point, honey. If you want to wear the helmet, wear it.
But of course, the jump cube works as they end up on the necropolis.
Because Zeph is smart.
Yes, very smart. And Perusia informs them that she came to give them a proper burial.
She was doing the ceremony and like closing on their eyes. I'm like, oh, maybe she really is in it just for the ceremony.
Profit or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, interesting turn of events here with her because when she was talking with Pre and Garrett, it sounded like she might really be wanting to loot the place.
Right. I was exactly thinking that's what was going to happen, but it seemed a lot different on the ship.
Right.
Until a little bit later, and then I got scared, but we'll get to that.
Right. So, of course, Zeph tells Pip to head to the tech room to find out who did this. And please make it quick as she's a little creeped out. And, of course, about that time, we see one of the lady's spiders still crawling around, and you go, oh, no.
They were creeping me out.
Yes.
Seriously, I picked my feet up off the floor. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So Perusa and Zeph start exploring, and of course Zeph wants to know why she left the Scarbacks. And Perusa tells her she left when she found out about the lies that they were being told by the elders about the origins of their faith. Oh, this sounds like a whole new storyline now.
Right?
So, maybe we'll have and a banana on them for more than one episode.
We'll see. She's staying busy. I'm
Yes,
sure
she
there's always
is.
people willing to have some prayer services happening.
Yep. So Bruce and Zeph make it to the 10th level worship room where the pool of green goo is, where Anila and Dutch disappeared into. And of course, Zeph definitely has to have a sample of that.
That girl.
Yeah.
What if she started to get sucked in?
Exactly.
Well, she doesn't know what happened though.
No, she doesn't.
Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because Pip was just about to get the power on when she does that. And of course, he starts to see the video and they find a guy with a spike through his head.
That was so weird. And it got weirder when
Right.
Faruja's like, wait, this is strange. Because...
Yes. They don't do this.
Right. And it wasn't another one that did it. He did this himself.
Right.
And Zeph was like, what? And then next thing we know, she has her gun on Zeph. And this is where I was like, oh crap, she's turning on us already.
Yeah.
But then she's like, on the count of 3, roll over. And I'm like, what the hell did she see? I was thinking one of the Hullen, bodies was getting up.
Right.
But when Zeph rolls, she listened very well. And she shot one of the spiders.
Right. That was underneath the clothing.
Yeah. I don't know how she's seen it, but at that point, I think both of them should have been like, ah, and got up and ran. Totally girly it out of there, because I would have. But something big and creepy like that, I need out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right. And of course, they tell Pip they found something weird. And as he steps away from the video, oh crap, there's a Hulan that all of a sudden comes to life, knocks him down.
Then the spider starts coming out of its mouth.
Right.
I was like, ah! It's like something out of Alien.
Right, exactly. And of course, Zeph and Perusia start to hear a whole bunch of spiders in the next room, so they turn and run, heading, because they don't hear what's going on with Pip, and so they're running to help him, and he grabs Zeph, and out of nowhere, and you go, Zeph asks him about a cut on his face, and he doesn't know how that happened. And you go, oh, no, not Pip.
I was a little upset because I was hoping that he would be fine. Now, He may still be fine.
Right. It isn't over yet, but he's a ticking time bomb.
And the whole reason that they cut the elevator was to make sure none of those things got off.
Right.
And of course, they don't know it. And he's not telling them what he's seen.
No.
Great. Just great.
Yeah, not until they get back on Anila's ship, and that's when Pip reports to the group what he saw on the tape, saying that Dutch and Anila disappeared into the green goo. And then Zeph comes through again. She reports that the boys got out alive and plays the recording of them telling Lucy to cut them free. And she just kind of got this sly grin on her face, and in turn goes, what are you smiling about? Lucy would never let her boys slip away. So she plays the recording again, and as Lucy shoots a tagger onto the elevator, so she would know wherever they went.
Yeah, I love that. Cause she's like, did you hear that? And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Listen carefully, guys. So, of course, Pri goes, well, we find Lucy, we find the boys. And, of course, Turin goes, well, how do we find Lucy? And they cut to Lucy on a very dark rock. You go, what the hell is going on?
Right. I thought that was weird. Why wouldn't she be following the elevator or whatever?
Right. Why is she sitting on a dark rock? I don't know. Maybe she's hiding out. The Hulan were supposed to be there just shortly after she cut the cord, so maybe she's just hanging out until coast is clear. I hope.
That's interesting. I just kept thinking, where's Lucy? What's she up to? And then when we see that, it's like, what's going on? I'm so confused.
Exactly. So, of course, Turin wonders where Dutch went. Zeph thinks she'll be all right, as, of course, we see the scene of her in the woods at the end of episode 1. with the knife in her hand before she falls down into the snow and green goo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's not all right. But we get our fearsome threesome of Johnny, Davin, and Dulcea, and the elevator has crashed on a planet. Somehow our threesome has survived. I don't know how. You would think that thing probably would have burned up in...
well, I mean, it was out in space and near a sun. So maybe it's got super awesome shielding.
Yeah,
but
could be.
How did they survive for any length of time? Is there a bathroom on there? Is there food on there?
Well, we see some of the things they do later on. So, of course, Johnny and Dulcea have to start picking at each other.
They are kind of sort of related now, right?
Yeah.
So,
just a tad.
Even if they
Uncle Johnny.
Right. They're going to pick on each other no matter what. Now it seems like it's a given that they have to.
Right. And of course, Davin has to threaten both of them. And as they wonder where they are, a vehicle comes up, and instead of helping them, they want to rob them of their valuables.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
I loved it, though, because the boys are like, all right, fine. Give them our gun. And then the bandits, the female bandit, decides she's going to pat down Dulcea and starts talking crap because she's like, oh, I found her jewels.
She only knew what was in that container.
Right. Dulcea's like, oh, don't try it, little girl. And then, bam! Next thing we know, Dulcea has the gun, and the boys are like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, they were so shocked. Like, oh, okay, maybe she's not as helpless as we thought she was.
Right. But in the process, the robbers get away, but Johnny ends up on the ground.
Well, he does still have a punctured lung.
Yeah. So, of course, they've got to get him some help. So, seeing that the robbers told him that there was a depot that was 5 miles east, that's where they head.
The only thing we can do.
Right. They go busting in, telling everybody they need a doctor, and a guy just tells them to wait their turn. And Davin's not having that as he shoots the bottle beside the guy, who turns her right around and says, well, the doctor's doesn't come until the next morning. So you're out of luck anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny's going to make it.
No, but a young girl says there's some medical supplies in the back. And she sees that Johnny has a patch on his jacket, and she seems to know what they are. So she brings out the med kit, gives it to Davin.
Oh, that was so funny, because Davin's talking to Johnny like, no, as he keeps pulling things out, do you need this? And Dulcea's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And she just slams the needle, like, giant needle into Johnny's chest.
Right.
No, but he's like,
it had to be adrenaline.
Yeah. Davin's just like, what are you doing? Like, listen, dude, you suck at this. I suck at this too, but you suck at this more.
Right.
It's like, well, what are we gonna do? And Dulcea just looks at him and's like, well, we can try to goo him.
Right. It's not enough, but it might help and do something, because it's not doing her any good, because she's unable to reach the Hulan. She's getting nothing back but silence.
Right. Which is weird. It's like, oh, is it because Anila is in the green?
Yes.
Okay.
I absolutely believe that is why. And the lady is preoccupied in the green.
Okay.
It's the combination of the two things. The lady's got Anila, Dutch, and Klein to deal with, so that's enough. Everybody else, you're on hold.
Right.
And that's why all the Hulan are standing there just waiting for their next instruction. They aren't dead, but they aren't moving.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was a little, unsure about that.
Right. And speaking of unsure, Dulcea is very unsure what's going to happen to Johnny when they do this. So Davin leaves it up to Johnny, and he says, do it.
Oh, let me see. I could die, or I might live.
Right.
I guess we're going to go for the living part.
Right. And Dulcea says, roll him over and hold on tight. And she's got to inject this into to the base of his brainstem.
Ow.
Yeah. And all the people in the depot hear Johnny's screams.
I'd be screaming too. Although,
Oh, hell yeah.
I might be screaming out in the depot when I heard that.
Yeah. Of course, Dulcea asked Devin if he still has the gun because never done this with so little goo and no idea what it's going to do to him.
It could go bad real fast.
And it seems to.
Oh my god, I got so freaked out.
We see Devin snoozing and Johnny just pops up and gets right on top of Devin.
Oh, and then like lifts him up.
Right.
I was like, oh my god! Is he gonna
Yes.
kill him? What's happening?
And Dulcea grabs the gun and puts it to the back of Johnny's head. And Johnny's just playing it up big time. What did you do to me? You told us to. And then he starts cracking up laughing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you should have seen your face. What? I don't know what's going on right now. And Dovin's just like, are you angry? And Johnny's like, nah, thanks for the upgrade of awesomeness. And then kisses him. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
This isn't right.
No. Now we know that they have quite a bit of competition between themselves.
Yeah.
But this might be just a bit far. We will see.
Yeah, it seemed really strange.
Yes. And if it would have been something normal, I don't think Davin would have quite reacted the same way. He would have just said, oh, you SOB, how'd you do that? How'd you fool me on this? Type thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, when they come out, the girl who tried to help them looks at Johnny and is like, well, you look much better. And Johnny's like, oh, yeah. But then he says something about, what was it? You smell like you slept here?
Right.
It's like, dude.
It smells like you slept here.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, what is that?
Right.
Did this upgrade take away your sensor?
Yeah.
Between your mouth and your brain? Man.
And gave him quite a sensitive nose, too. If he could tell that from just walking out where he didn't when he walked in. So, and of course, she tells him that she recognized the Killjoy emblem. And they are a farming community and need their help as the collective will take everything and they won't survive the winter. But they might talk to Killjoys.
This was interesting because after she said that and then we find everything out, I was kind of wondering if she wasn't lying that they would take everything. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that part might not have been a lie.
I was like, wait a second.
Right. Because we see Johnny just go cuckoo over this guy's hat.
Yeah.
And actually pulls the weapon on him.
That was really scary too. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. This is not going well for Johnny.
No.
I mean, yes, he's alive, but this stuff is messing with our Johnny.
Yes. And then Davin takes the gun away and talks him down. And then we see Dutch kind of behind Johnny. And although she's not really there, she's like, Johnny, you're losing me. And he's losing his connection with reality is what it seems like too.
Yes, he is.
And I was like, uh-oh, wait a second. But last episode when we had Klein telling Dutch that Johnny's your true north, you have to find him.
Right.
And then this is happening, and I'm just going to throw this out. Tinfoil hat time, guys. Because Dutch is in the green, even though we don't know what's happening, if she's surviving, whatever, and Johnny now has some green, do you think that's going to be the connection that Klein knew somehow would happen? And that's going to save both of them?
That's very interesting. I like that a lot. I think you might be onto something because that would be the one thing that would possibly keep them tied together.
I shall take off my tinfoil hat now.
I like that. That may be the only way. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, Johnny sure didn't hang on long.
No. But, like Dulcea said, she didn't know what it would do with so little.
Right.
So, be prepared because he might go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. And so the girl informs him that the overseers are here, and the head guy asks Davin who he is and is told that they want to talk. And we see Johnny's eyes turn red.
Did they turn red? I didn't catch that.
Right, just the pupils, not the whole eye.
Oh, see, I didn't catch that. I just seen him kind of look at everybody.
Right.
Kind of quick, and you see it like he's trying to figure. It was a very Sherlock moment where he's like looking at everything, trying to piece it together.
Right. Yeah, split second later, he takes out everybody, basically.
Right, and then he's kind of laughing, and Davin's like, "What did you just do?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, you haven't figured it out? Really? You haven't figured it out?" I'm like, "All right, you're way too happy. You just killed a bunch of people."
Right. And you think you know what's going on.
Right. Then he's like, "It's not a farming community, it's a prison." And he explains why he thinks it's a prison, and then the girl's like, "Well, you're wrong, but not completely." Because Johnny's like, "Where's the farms? I don't see any farms." And when she raises her shirt and said, "It's right here," and you see all these scars, I was thinking when she said that and raised her shirt that she meant like they were being forced to have children.
Right.
And that they kept like taking the children. I'm like, oh my God. But no, they're farming organs. I'm like, holy crap. Because it's a debtor's colony. And then these people have their organs harvested and then given regrowth meds. And that's why I thought it was weird when she said they're coming, we're not going to survive the winter, they're going to take everything. That's why when she said this, I'm like, oh my God, are they really going to kill these people? They're taking all of their organs and not going to give them like any of the regrowth meds. I'm like, oh. Oh wait, did she say debtors or debtors?
Yeah.
Debt. Like what did they used to be called? Oh yeah, debtor's prison.
Right.
I think I said debtors with a D, the way I pronounced it. Sorry. But it was weird, and she does say basically there's no way you're ever going to pay off your debt.
Right, because they keep charging you for rent and food.
Right. Which essentially we've seen something like this in Sliders way back. If you ever watched that show on SyFy.
Yes, I did.
There was an episode, same thing, where you got sucked into having to work at a super mall if you couldn't pay your debt, and you were required to pay for your rent, your food, and you had to spend so much of your check, so there's no way you can ever get out of debt. And I'm like, that's crazy. And then you see this, and it's the same thing, and it's so creepy, and it makes me wonder, could something like that, well, not this, but can something like that actually happen again? Which, who knows?
Yeah, let's hope not.
Yeah, because I'm super screwed, just saying.
So one of the dead guys' chip goes off because it's not reading life signs, and all the alarms within the depot start going off. And she informs them that a ship full of guards are coming for them.
Yeah, now a whole bunch are going to come.
Yeah.
And then Johnny's just like, oh, I got an idea. We can just remove the chips. It'll be fine. And he tries to do it, and they're like, it'll kill us. You can't do it. And he explains what he thinks the whole science is.
Right.
And he ends up getting shocked to hell trying to take the chip off. He gets knocked back and then gets up and he's laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not good. He is seriously losing touch. And it's only been like an hour. What is going on? Like, his whole thing is messed up. And I'm sorry, this is when he sees Dutch, not earlier.
Right.
Not a few minutes ago. But when she says, I'm not ready to say goodbye, he kind of looks different. It's
yes,
like, is that...
absolutely.
Yeah, is that the old Johnny, like, trying to fight his way back up?
I think so. I think that's the only thing that's going to get old Johnny back is Dutch.
Okay.
Of course, Johnny comes up with a backup plan as he's created a homing beacon for Lucy to find them. And Johnny plays this perfectly because, of course, Davin gives the device to Dulcea because Davin wants Johnny to stay and fight instead of going out off on his own. And Johnny goes, well, she's stronger than both of us, which, of course, Dulcea agrees to. But Johnny tells her where to hook it up.
Fine.
And we get first Davin gives Dulcea the gun, which Johnny questions if that is about the baby, and Dulcea says, don't shoot him, he's family.
Oh my God, the awkwardness.
Yeah, and then the goodbye between Davin and Dulcea was unbelievable.
How neither of them wanted to look at each other.
Right.
It was
Or hug or nothing. It ends up with a handshake.
right. It's like, well, be careful. Take care of the baby. Okay, take care of Uncle Johnny. It was so funny because it was so awkward. And it's like, You just expected the head nod, It's like,
Right.
okay. That was weird.
So, of course, Dulcea and the girl make it to the elevator and are hooking up Johnny's device when the girl asks, how did they survive without killing each other? Mighty fine question.
I want to know how they survived, period. So, yes, please tell us.
Right. So, Dulcea flashes back to the time on the elevator where we have scenes of Davin doing sit-ups while Johnny and her play a dice game. And then she plays counselor to the boys.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yes. Oh, yes. It was very funny stuff.
And then we find out there was food. Apparently there was some food stashed on the elevator. I don't know why. I mean, it's not that long of a trip up and down the elevator, but...
No, it really isn't, but thank God there was.
Yeah.
And Davin reports everyone is in place, and him and Johnny start to argue.
Why
of course,
are you being weird?
Yes.
I didn't get that part.
Yeah. And Davin tells him the plan has to work because... And Johnny goes, you're concerned for Dutch. Davin says, yeah, you are too. And then Johnny just knocks him out, telling him he's the smart one.
I was looking at this going, wait, what is happening?
Yeah, exactly.
I was kind of confused and just got a little bit more confused until.
Right. The ship with the guards land at the elevator and capture Dulcea and the girl, saying they're looking for Miller. They followed his distress call to this location. Johnny, what have you done?
Right?
Of course, we see him walking out of the depot and looks up, going, oh, I know where we are, and I know where to get my next plasma fix.
Right when he said that, I'm like, oh, Johnny.
No, as he shuts the door to a vehicle with Davin in it.
Not just in it.
No.
Handcuffed.
He's knocked out and handcuffed. So Johnny walks around to the other side, gets in, gets his selfie with Davin, then wakes him up. Of course, Davin wants to know where Dulcea is, and Johnny tells him, not my baby, not my problem, and asks Davin if he's ready for a road trip.
I'm like, seriously? What? What are you doing?
He's got green goo-itis, I'm afraid.
This is bad.
Yes, very bad.
Oh, Johnny.
They be leaning very heavily on Zeph this whole season. If somehow Davin is able to get him back to Zeph, maybe she can do something to deactivate the green goo that's inside him. But if he gets a new fix, this would be a whole lot harder.
I'm really hoping that Davin is somehow able to knock the goo out of him, or like I said, there's some kind of connection with Dutch and it'll be able to be fixed. I don't know. I don't like this Johnny though.
No. Not at all. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But looks like this is going to be a tough season to start with.
Yes.
The battle with the green and the lady is not going to be won easily.
Oh gosh, I'm really worried about this. Hey Steve, did we get any feedback this week?
Oh yes, we did. Our friend Fred from the Netherlands made sure he got some feedback in. Let's take a listen.
Great.
Hello, this is Fred from the Netherlands with some feedback on Killjoys episode Johnny Dangerously, Season 4, Episode 2. I hope this feedback will get in time, because I was away for the weekend. We had a family outing because of my birthday and my wife's birthday. So, about the episode, I liked it a lot, and especially because we saw several characters back and some new ones. Just to start off with a new one, nice actor crossover, of course. Anna Hopkins, we just saw her as Monica Stewart for the people who watch The Expanse, as the reporter in The Expanse. And here in Killjoys, she plays the Scarback Veruza, or she has been a Scarback. So that was very nice to see her back. I like her a lot. Seeing Seth back in quite a big role and quite badassy. She was always discussing with Johnny, and now she discusses with everybody. I especially like the quote when she is talking to Turin, and Turin says, "Look, you can't just jump a ship inside a building. It's too damn big." And then in a very badass way, Seth says, "Please stop underestimating me. I survived nearly alone in the dark in a station full of Holland while building a tech to get me safely off board. And how did you do?" Very nice. I was a big fan of Delcea Kendry, always. I like that she's back, and I hope she will stay on the 4th season of Killjoys in more episodes. Of course, we all just wonder how it goes with the pregnancy. I think Miko Nguyen, who was pregnant at the end of the 3rd season, is made pregnant now for this filming. But we will see how that will go. I liked it very much that she was not very much hindered by the pregnancy, and for instance took that gun from that woman in those some kind of badlands and kicked her ass, and was very reminiscent for people who watch Winona Earp being a pregnant superhero. So also nice. I had to get used a little bit to Johnny in his half Holland state. Bit confusing, a bit strange, but I think Aaron Ashmore did a very nice job in portraying him in this way. Not much of Dutch in this episode, but I recently went with my youngest son to the Ant-Man and the Wasp, where she plays Ghost. So I did get my portion of Hannah John Kamen last week. Okay, this was all for now. Greetings. Till next time, Fred from the Netherlands.
So, for the world to know, happy belated birthday to you and your wife, both.
Absolutely, Fred. Happy birthday to both of you.
Yes, and I hope you had a great time, and I'm glad you thought about the podcast on your vacation, but it was your birthday. You should have been, whooping it up and not worried about us. But thank you for your feedback anyway.
Yes.
And Anna Banana, yeah, I think this is something Steve and I had talked about. I'm like, she's on, every show that we're watching right now.
Yeah, we had a very detailed discussion about Anna, so... And yes, we both agreed that it's great to have Zeph and Pitt back, and it definitely looks like Zeph is stepping up and taking a much more leadership role than what she did in the previous season. So that's great to see.
And Dulcea, I love how you said she's a pregnant superhero. Maybe the pregnant anti-hero?
Well, she's got some moves like Winona and another pregnant anti-hero that we both know and love, Helena.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And actually going back, what we found out in real life from our lead for Van Helsing.
Yes.
It's like all the women on SyFy are pregnant and fighting. So, hey, awesome.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, Hoolan Johnny is very difficult to get a handle on, and I agree that's major props to Aaron for that, because at times he seemed like Johnny, and at other times he wasn't even close, and you didn't know if the times that you thought he might be Johnny was all an act. So it's an actor acting and an act. So
that's weird. They could have brought his brother in to be the opposite of him. That would have been weird, so you could see them both on screen. But I totally loved Hannah and Ant-Man and Wasp as well.
Absolutely.
And knowing what we know up through the end, before the end credit scenes, I'm wondering if she might be back in the future. Just throwing that out there for Marvel.
Yeah, let's make that happen, Marvel.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Fred.
Thanks again, and happy birthday to you and yours.
All right. Well, what do you guys think? How do you feel about this Johnny 2.0? And I want to hear from you. Steve wants to hear from you. We want to read this on air. Send us an email at syfytalk@fangirlzone.com. If you don't want to send an email, shoot us little blurps. You can go on www.fangirlzone.com and you can find our contact page. You see our emails, you see our Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, everywhere you can leave a message and we'll talk about it. Because this one has got me scratching my head. So, while you're at it, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends about this show, because it's amazing. And we do hope you're enjoying the podcast. And if you haven't gone to go see Dutch in Ant-Man and Wasp yet, you should go do it, because we need to support our girl.
Yep.
For this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Team Awesome Force taught me one thing. Tight pants are best pants? No. Heroes are gonna hero. They risk their lives for us. It's time for us to risk ours to go regroup with them.
And until next time.